Interaction effect. Agenda. Background, cases, limitations, ideal uses. What are interaction effects? Let's say you wanted to identify the relationship between a person's anxiety and their medication dose. You might start with a traditional regression model like this. But then you realize that the effect of your independent variable dose on your dependent variable anxiety might be different for men than it is for women. An interaction effect exists when the effect of an independent variable on a dependent variable changes, depending on the values of one or more other independent variable. Here we have interacted two variables, gender and dose, by multiplying them. This is the interaction term. We interpret beta 3 as the added effect on y that occurs when both gender and dose are present. Here is the same model rewritten in terms of x and y.
The graph is a glimpse of history and development of interaction effects. In 1958, David Cox introduced concept and application of interaction effect in his publication, Planning of Experiments. The book offers a comprehensive non-mathematical treatment regarding the design and analysis of experiments, focusing on basic concepts rather than calculation of technical details. Subjects include the justification and practical difficulties of various factors occurring in a factorial experiment. Interaction effects are common in regression analysis, ANOVA, and design experiments. In regression analysis, adding an interaction term to a regression model drastically changes the interpretation of all the coefficients. In ANOVA, interaction effects represent the combined effects of factors on the dependent measure. When an interaction effect is present, the impact of one factor depends on the level of the other factor. Design of experiment can identify interaction as many parameters are changed simultaneously in the design.
Let's go back to the first example. For example, suppose researchers develop a drug to treat anxiety. Researchers might hypothesize an interaction effect based on gender. To visualize the potential interaction, they would plot mean anxiety score by gender for each dose and connect the means with lines as shown below. In the plot on the left, the lines are parallel, which suggests no interaction effect based on gender. In the plot on the right, the line for women is steeper. This suggests a potential interaction effect based on gender. Some sample data is provided in the table. Notice that gender is a dummy variable where 1 represents females and 0 represents males. If we ran a regression on this data, we would see that dose and gender are statistically significant at a 0.05 level. Now, using the same data, we add an interaction term in the fourth column equal to the product of dose and gender. If we run a regression, we see that the interaction term is statistically significant at the 0.01 level. One important measure for regression is R-squared, which is the proportion of the variation in the dependent variable that is explained by the variation in the independent variables. In the model with the interaction term, the R-squared is much larger. Therefore, we conclude for this problem that the interaction term contributes in a meaningful way.
Interaction terms can help researchers in a variety of sectors: medicine, business, and education. There are three limitations.
First, you might need prior knowledge to decide interaction variable to make conditional hypothesis. Second, when having more than two variable in interaction term, it's difficult to interpret the coefficient. And third, we might have high multicollinearity among variable. Currently, interaction effect is used in regression analysis and factory experiment. In research field, it was widely applied into business management, psychological research, behavioral science, biochemistry. Here is an example of recent research by Monta and Christian in 2019. They want to know why certain companies develop certification customer accounting system while others choose simpler one. They define 7 variables, use competition intensity and customer service competition as the interaction term. The result shows that when customization competition is high, the investment in certification system will increase as competition intensity increases. When customization competition is low, managers would like to reduce the cost to maintain their competitiveness as the intensity increases. And this is the end of our presentation and our reference. Thank you.